Monster Movie Media presents
Blast from the past. Your weekly dose of laughing gas. You don't like it, you can kiss my ass. 'Cause even James has a podcast. Even James has a podcast.
Hey there, and welcome to episode 58 of the Even James Has a podcast. I am your host, James H. Carr II, here for some good old fun times for your ears and your face and every part of your body. Yeah and ha. Before we get started, I do need to let you know that this podcast is produced and presented by Monster Movie Media. We offer video production and podcast production and consulting, something we're just starting to get into. So if you want to get a podcast for your business or just for personal use and you don't know how to do it, or you want someone else to do it, just holler at us. It's really professional. Holler at us. We're a little off the cuff on this show, so, we talk street slang. But, yeah. And also, we produce original entertainment such as this podcast and some new podcasts that are coming down the pike soon. Down the pike. So anyways, check us out at monstermoviemedia.com. Also, this show is available on the Stitcher Smart Radio application for your smart telephone. And it's an app that streams podcasts right to your phone. Some new fancy cars, it streams it right there. It's amazing. We're on there. If you're not signed up for Stitcher, just go to stitcher.com/JamesPodcast to sign up. Enter the registration code JamesPodcast, and you will be automatically entered to win $100. That's amazing. Okay, so we're back from our summer vacay. We took a month off, and we'll be discussing what we were doing during that time, and in this episode, I will, in mere minutes, seconds probably, be joined by young Mark as we chit the chat in the present tense, and we will be discussing my appearance on another podcast. Ooh, intriguing. And my thoughts about the new Insane Clown Posse music video that was just dropped last week. And many other wonderful topics. So, instead of me just telling you what you're going to hear, why don't you just listen to it? Wow, that was an annoying way to... Just listen to it! Is that a good voice? You guys like that one? I don't know. Whatever. Here it is. Let's go. Hey.
It's that time again.
Hey, happy today. Happy today. What's today?
Wow, what energy we have to this opening.
Yeah, we're not going to... Well, we just got back from vacation, man.
Yeah, I'm still on island time.
Yeah. Us island girls do. Throw back to an older episode.
Yeah. You guys should go back and listen to Mark getting a haircut episode.
Yeah, you'll know all about island girls.
You know all about them.
And we wish we're still on the island, but we're back. We decided to come back and do the show for you. We had a fucking sweet ass vacation, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you go again? Because we spent separate. We had
a sweet ass separate vacation, man. I went to the 7th level of hell.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I hear it's wonderful this time of year.
Year round. It's a great place. Well, we didn't introduce ourselves. I mean, no one's going to know who we are.
It's true.
I'm James. I'm the host.
Oh man, we really need to bring this energy level.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
should like be in a bouncy castle right now or something, just to get ourselves like up and at 'em.
Let's stand up. Let's get.
Let's
the
do
blood
that.
going.
We're just gonna stand up. We've just been sitting down for a while, chatting about real life stuff.
All right, let's get the blood rate going and
Nice.
circulation. Okay, all right. I feel a little more energized right now. Okay. All right. So I'm James, the host, and you are.
I'm Mark.
And we're gonna chit the chat in the present tense right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we took a month off, which is allowed, I think.
Yeah, it's allowed by law.
By law.
It's been allowed.
I think we started the year off with a record-breaking run.
Yeah, definitely. We stuck to our guns.
I mean, there was weeks here and there we missed. I'm not going to say it was every week, but I'd say we've had maybe 3 episodes were missed since the beginning of the year until the end of the month. So, we're like, hey, let's
take a break.
Yeah.
An unscheduled break.
Yeah.
Not tell anyone it's going to happen. Let's just go on. Let's just, you can go visit the 7th layer of hell.
Right.
And I went to the beautiful island of Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
That's wonderful. Did you see
Get
women?
laid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, basically what it was, I went on a tour. It was an all-inclusive tour, 6 days, 7 nights, with Harrison Ford as the guide and Anne Heche.
Man, their career is really in the shitter now. They have to live out that movie now for tourists.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can tell that Anne Heche is really bored with getting a snake up her trousers, but, I mean, let me tell you, I never had so much fun getting that out.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, she's a lesbian.
But anyway, so it's a guided tour of all the shooting locations from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
For 7 days and 6 nights.
6 days, 7 nights. Yeah, I mean, you can see where the stage. They still have the stage put up where Russell Brand performed as Infant Sorrow.
That's probably bronzed with a monument.
There's like a Rocky statue like on top of the stage of Russell Brand. And there's you could see the cliff where he fell off. Where
that's great.
We went to the bar where he played the Dracula song for the first time.
Yeah, Van Helsing. I woke up. I remember that, man.
Who can forget? I mean, here's Johnny. It's a classic movie scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, just right up there with The Shining.
Yep.
Took me a second to realize what you were talking about. That's right up there with the shitting.
Yep. So it was a really, really fun time.
That's awesome. I'm glad you had fun. Yo, by the way, Russell Brand went from someone who was like, oh, that guy's pretty funny, to just what a fucking whatever now. Like, oh my god, have you seen that?
I haven't seen the show. I know it exists, but I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Like, what is it exactly?
I've watched it, and I'm going to have a hard time answering that question.
Okay.
It seems like just he's in front of an audience, in a very tight audience, where he basically spends most of the show around the audience, sitting on their lap.
Well, that's what I was going to say. From the only little bits and pieces I've seen, it seems like it's just a show where he kind of talks to an audience.
Yeah.
But is there like sketches, or is there like other people on the show?
From the episode I watched, which I believe was the first one, he's kind of talking about topics. It's topical, right? But it's just like rapid fire rambling, and like that's pretty much what it was. For most of the show, I had no idea what he was talking about. I could barely understand him. Like, his accent is like full on, and he's just like, like, I've watched him do stand up before, and I thought he was pretty funny. I don't know. Someone's like, what do you think of Russell Brand? I'm like, oh, that guy's pretty funny. He's entertained me. But there's something about this show that is just like, I'm like, how is this on television? Like, I'm like, who's watching this?
Well, that's weird, because there's a show that's coming out that I was, I just heard about it today, that I saw an internet sidebar ad for it.
Okay.
That made me go, oh, that show will be something that I'll check out, probably, maybe for a minute. But it's a show with, there's this comedian, W. Kamau Bell.
Yeah, it's on FX too, right? I've seen some commercials for it.
It's like Chris Rock's producing it or something. And, he's been on some stuff that I've checked out, and I like, he seems like a funny dude. So I was like, I'll check it out. But is that like the new format for shows? Is just like one person talking to people? Like, are they, like they can't spend any more money on anything?
Yeah, there was no sketches. It didn't cut to anything. It seemed as though the commercial breaks were like they edited it, and no, they stopped. I remember that, but it had to have been very briefly. Like, it seemed like it was just like all this one whole thing. By the time it was over, when I first was finished watching it, I'm like, I was perplexed, so I was impressed, because I was like, what the fuck is it? Like, how is this? And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, I don't want to watch that ever again. That was not entertaining. The funny thing about it was I watched that, and there was one thing that made me like chuckle, like whatever. And then right afterwards, I watched that the Charlie Sheen sitcom.
Oh yeah.
And that actually made me laugh. And I'm like, oh, this is what laughing is like. This is what humor. I mean, obviously, it's a stupid fucking show, and I'm just taking it whatever
I have
face
yet to check
value.
that one out either.
Yeah, I'm just taking it at face value. Like, oh, let's see what this is. I expected to have the opposite reactions, but it's like that show actually made me laugh. Like at the end of the day, it made me laugh. So I'm like, I can honestly say that Charlie Sheen's new show is way better than Russell Brand's new show, and I would never think that I would say that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that out there, that my opinion on Russell Brand has changed.
Huh.
And
interesting.
I just want to let you know that in case you're wondering how I felt about him.
He's one of those guys that I feel like when he first came out, a lot of people hated him, pretty much based on his hair and his accent and his his thing.
Yeah, he's obnoxious.
Yeah, and I understood that, but I felt like he was legitimately funny and good in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
He was good in Get Him to the Greek, where he plays the exact same character.
Right, and that was good. Yep.
But it struck me as odd that he would be with Katy Perry, and obviously is not anymore.
Yeah, you thought he was someone that was legit, like a real dude, and he's not.
Yeah. That's the weird thing, right? It's like when Jack White married Renee Zellweger, and you're like, how does that relationship work? Because clearly, I know everything about Renee Zellweger, and she is a bitch, and Jack White seems like a cool dude. But it just, it's one of those weird matchups that you just don't make sense of. And then, of course, they don't work out, so you were right in the first place.
Right, yeah, you're like, that's... If these people weren't famous, they wouldn't cross paths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But,
anyways, that's I don't know how we got on that.
I'm just waiting for him to change his hair. I feel like he could do something different if he changed his hair and his... Like, because it's one of those things where when he first came out in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, it's like, okay, that's the character he plays.
Right,
and of course, okay, then it's like, okay, they hit the character for him, based on him, because that's who he is. But it's like, can he be personally satisfied with never needing to change his clothes? Like, never having a different outfit or a different, I mean, I should be one to talk, but he's wearing a much more elaborate pieces. You know what I think the problem here bracelets and shit.
The perspective here. Mm-hmm. I think he's the Dane Cook of the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think
we're all starting to slowly realize that.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Where it's totally like he ain't gonna change. Mm-hmm. I get that. What I don't get is why the show Brand X is made for American audiences. That's what I don't get. Because it doesn't. It does. That's the thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's an American show. Like it's produced in America for American audiences. I don't think it's an imported show. Yeah. The people that he talked to seem to have American accents. So I'm like, put that over there, or I just won't watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, just change the channel.
Yeah, that's what I ended up.
But I really wonder if that's like, FX is like, shit, we need shows, we need new content, but all our money is tied up in like making Sons of Anarchy and Always Sunny and the Charlie Sheen Show just took all of our money. Like Charlie Sheen just requested all of our salary.
I mean, the thing is, FX is a channel. No, they're just being greedy because FX is a channel. They don't need to fill it up with bullshit. Like most of their programming was top notch, and it's just like,
or like shitty action movies.
I'm talking about the original programming.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like, like
the original programming of DVD on TV.
Yeah, not that. There was a point where I would say, FX was like AMC, where like
I mean they had the movies. FX has the movies. If there's one truth in this world, it's that FX has the movies.
That is the dumbest premise of a show, DVD on TV. Because I'm like, no, it's just a movie on TV because I can't pause this. Yeah, exactly. I can't watch this at my will.
But but you get to see little behind the scenes things sometimes.
Yeah.
Pretty much every DVD that I own is hosted by former wannabe VJ runner-up Dave Holmes.
Really? You must have a sweet DVD collection.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had him flown out and personally introduce all my DVDs. Spared no expense.
Hey, man, he's still in the game, man.
Because and my girlfriend was like, wouldn't you want to pay less money? You could get Jesse Camp, and I was like, no, not Jesse Camp. Which apparently he works at like a Petco in California.
Oh, he made it out west. Good for him, man.
Yeah, man. Him and the 8th Street kids are going. They got off 8th Street, moved to La Brea.
Jesse and the La Brea kids, man. That was Jesse Camp. If some of you kids are too young for that one. Jesse, they were MTV when they used to play videos. The last few years when they played videos, they had a contest where anyone could enter to become a VJ on the channel, and this underdog crackhead off the street. Heart of gold, I'm sure he was a great guy, but just so obnoxious and horrible. Like he looked like he was homeless, like a squatter punk rocker. So it was obvious. You're like, oh my god, yes, get this guy on fucking MTV. Like he was such the underdog. We wanted him to get it. I watched they had this series of live competitions that they had to do.
It was a big fucking deal.
Yeah, they really made this big, and then we're just like, and it pretty much seemed like Dave Holmes was gonna get it. Everything was leading towards him, which is why they obviously gave him a job anyway. Because Jesse, he ended up winning, and that was just like...
Jesse won and lasted maybe a year.
Not even, dude.
No, I'd say it was, but it was, he didn't, like, Dave Holmes ended up hosting a daily show of, like, Say What Karaoke was on, like, every day.
Right.
And then Jesse Camp would be like, a correspondent at the beach house, and then he would show up randomly, like in little things here and there, but never had, around, like, it was never like, welcome to Jesse's Corner.
I'm trying to remember the thing about him on TV. I'm drawing a blank. So and then he came out with a band called Jesse and the 8th Street Kids. Yeah. I'm trying to remember something about him that I knew that was funny, and I just not coming back to me.
I remember Bianchi saying that she used to see him around, but
around 8th Street.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've met someone recently or saw someone that reminded me a lot of him, and the people around me didn't know who Jesse Camp was. Really? And I think that's what my brain is trying to remember. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know how we've really derailed Russell Brand, Jesse Camp. We are talking about the greatest people in the history of the earth.
They have a similar quality to them. Russell Brand is just a thicker Jesse Camp. I mean,
sure.
Jesse Camp, it's just Russell Brand is just like, I don't know, he's just this close. they're like cousins.
Right. I mean, he's on
the British.
He's on 14th Street.
Yeah, exactly.
He could easily slip on down. Just St. Mark's. These are cities in New York City, by the way, for our worldwide listeners. Anyways, so cities, streets, and we're New York City. I mean, there are their own little cities in New York City. If you really think about it.
Yeah, totally, man. There's just one time where I was on like 16th Street, and then I was like, "Oh man, how am I gonna get to 20th Street?" Like,
Right.
You know, because it's like its own country.
Right. No, I feel you.
You know.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel like before we keep going, I do want to say, I do want to give a shout out.
Ooh, shout outs.
Yeah. Something that is kind of blown up since the last time we met is the Even James the podcast Twitter
Really?
account. Boom.
Blown up.
You know, it's very new. We didn't have one for a long time, and I created it, and obviously the demand was there, and we've blown up, and
Oh, it's official. We have blown up.
yeah, we're
Okay.
blown up. Yeah, we're blown up.
It's not blowing up. It has blown up.
Yeah, it was blowing up.
It's done.
And now it's
It is stagnant.
it is everywhere. Decay is everywhere. So, anyways, there's a young man that I've been interacting with
Yeah.
on there, and I
I
just
mean,
want
is he of age? Is this something you're going to get called into
I mean,
question
I don't
for?
know. I think so. But I didn't ask him how old he was.
How young of a man is this, James?
I don't know. He looks like a young man. He probably looks in his 20s, but you never know, man. I don't know what people are. But our conversations have definitely been PG, so where everything's
right
cool.
on.
Everything's cool. So yeah, his name is Mac Brebonics. That is his Twitter handle.
Mac Brebonics?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was going to have a... basically what's been great about my interaction with him is that he started asking me questions, just in 140 characters. And then he realized that was not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So he has been sending me audio recordings, tweets.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So we've been communicating a lot the past few days.
And the Twitter game has evolved since I've been a part of it.
Yeah. You can record yourself as long as you want to talk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what he's been doing. So I'll say one thing about something, and then he's just like, I guess he thought my thoughts can't be contained to this 140. I need to.
Yeah.
I need to go. So I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm like, you should do something for the show, and he said that he would get back to me on that. I wasn't just going to put his recordings on the show, because it wasn't meant for the show. He was talking to me. I wasn't going to put him on blast like that. So that's the shout out for you, if you're listening, which I hope you are, and hopefully you bring a recording for the show, so now the listeners can know about what's going on with you and what you want to know about us as a podcast.
Yeah, what kind of questions are these that he's asking?
No, he's not asking questions. He's giving his thoughts about. He's listening to our episodes and sharing his thoughts about certain issues,
right.
and then I'm just communicating with him about it. But instead of us writing back and him writing, he's just talking
Nice.
for a few minutes.
Are you sending back audio responses?
I'm not doing that. No.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I guess that's what you're doing right now, though.
Yeah, this is the audio response that I'm sending back to. This is, for example, he listened to when George was on the show talk about being in Japan, and he had actually lived in Japan, so he talked about his time. We're just talking, man. We're just having a chat. I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Nice.
Put that out
Cool.
there. So you have any shout outs?
Yeah, I got a shout out to. I'm not making this up at all. No, I have no shout.
You're like,
No.
I gotta tell you, when you said I'm not making this up, it took me a beat to realize you were lying. And at first I'm like, because as you were procrastinating, I'm like, he's making something up. And then you said, I'm not making this up. And then I got excited. I'm like, wait, you actually have a shout out? And then I really you really fooled me in that moment.
Yeah, man. Fooled you once.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah. George Bush said it. Yeah. Something else I've been doing while we were gone. You don't really know about this. A a lot of my friends don't really like. You have an inkling, you have an idea. You're not going to be shocked by this,
Mhm.
but a lot of my friends don't really know about one of my passions and what I spend a lot of time obsessing over.
Okay.
Which is snail hunting.
Which is what?
Snail hunting. No, I'm just kidding. I just
Stay
said-
hunting?
No, I said snail hunting. I just
Snail
made that up.
hunting.
That's not what I
Okay.
said. So I feel like I need to come out of that closet. I want everyone to know.
Okay.
My domestic partner knows very well, and she doesn't want to hear about it. She's really not interested in what I have to talk about.
Okay.
There's many times where I'll be like, yeah, dude, fucking blah blah, and I just sense the contempt and the blank stare and the waiting for me to stop talking, you know. And so I'm like, all right, I get it. I'm not going to talk to you about this.
Okay. Just waiting to hear what this is going to be.
No, you know, I'm obsessed with the Disney theme parks.
Yeah.
I was like, you already know that.
Yes.
All right. But I don't really talk about it with anyone. It's something that I really
Mm-hmm.
keep to myself.
Okay. So is there a new hidden Mickey somewhere in one of the parks?
I'm sure there is. No. But man, you know about hidden Mickeys. You're not so out of the loop yourself there. So I'm not that obsessed with hidden Mickeys. So I don't really care unless they're pancakes, and then I'm in. So I listen to a lot of podcasts about Disney World and Disneyland.
Okay.
Like, I listen to probably on a regular basis 3 or 4 of them every week. In fact, I'm super informed about what's going on there. It's become quite a passion of mine. And one of the ones I listened to had a 5-year anniversary meetup in New Jersey,
Oh, yeah.
where
So they're a podcast about Disney parks, and they don't meet up at a Disney park.
they normally do, obviously, when they have meetups.
Okay.
But the people that do the show, most of them are from New York and New Jersey.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So they decided to have the meetup in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. At like the Disney store in the mall.
No, no, it was in Somerset.
Okay.
So this was happening right in our
Yeah,
backyard.
right. In our, yeah.
Yeah. So
Totally.
I basically was, it was like a 3-day meetup where they went to Six Flags
Mm-hmm.
and did a bunch of other things. Went to the city. I didn't do all that stuff, but they had live recordings of their podcast.
Okay.
So I went to those.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was there, they had a game show.
Okay.
They do a version of the match game.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the match game? How
Yes.
it works?
Yes.
But the topics are about Disney World.
Okay.
So I was a contestant.
Really?
Yeah.
Now the story's going somewhere.
Yeah. I was a contestant on the episode. I know I'm like kind of like I haven't said the name of the podcast yet, but the podcast is called WDWNT, which stands for Walt Disney World News Today, and they had their 250th episode that was done live and that I was on
Okay.
as a contestant playing the match game,
Mm-hmm.
and when I had my guests to how does it work? You know how it works. Just to refresh, I feel like I'm drawing a blank.
How does it work? You know how it works.
You watch game shows all the time. So just in case everyone knows, it's like word association game. Where, come on, help me out, Mark.
Are we talking match game PM or are we talking
just
classic
any,
match
Just
game?
say any match game. Just tell people how it works.
I really? No. I was just saying yes, so you can keep going on with your story.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter how it works. What matters is that I was, like it would be like stupid Judy is so stupid. How stupid was she? She was so stupid that she thought that blank was blank, and you're supposed to fill in the words,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a celebrity panel that is writing down the answers, and you say your answer, and then you see if anyone matched you.
Okay.
So what I decided, so in the celebrity panel was the people on the podcast, and I competed against another listener of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I decided to do, with my answers, no matter what, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get this right or not or whatever, but I'm an entertainer. I want to try to make people laugh. So I would say things that I thought were funny, but the thing about it was like, I thought about it later. I was like, man, that was a really cool experience. I went on one of my favorite podcasts. I made people laugh. I had a great time, and I realized like everything I said was so specific to that audience.
Okay.
Like it was so like nerdy, like that anyone else listening to that would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And why was that funny? Because I was so excited to come home and share it with Karen.
Stupid Judy is so stupid. She thought Maleficent was Pluto.
Nah, it's not that. It was pretty dirty, man.
Oh, okay, got it.
Like it was specific to the show, not even just Disney World, but to
gotcha. Okay.
jokes made on the show, like inside jokes that they talk about, So, spoiler alert, I won.
Nice.
I won.
That's how we do it here at the Even James podcast. We win.
Right, so I felt like, I went there by myself, and I love this stuff, but, it was a bunch of people that had been, hanging out with each other mostly over the past few days, and they probably were like, what is, who is this guy? What is he doing? I mean, they were warm and they were nice to me, but it was just like, I felt like I went in there. I'm like, you know what? I'm not fully emerged in that. That's not all that I am. I'm into a lot of things, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to be myself. I'm going to go on the show. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be on the show. That was just spur of the moment there.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to be, I left. I'm like, I was on a show that I love. It's really it's my favorite of the Disney podcast.
This is as if you were on the Arsenio Hall show, like back in the day. Yeah. If you had gotten that opportunity,
yes,
it's the same kind of joy that you're feeling.
Yes, for that month that or that few months where I was like, this is it.
Yeah, man.
This is it. Yeah, no, it was cool. So I just I might be able. I'm gonna ask them if I could play the clips. That's what I think. I was thinking like, oh, I should play the clips on this show, and then I thought, I'm like, first of all, I'm not gonna play the whole thing because it's long. But I'm like, what I said was so like nerdy.
Well, now I'm dying to hear this.
Oh, you should definitely check it out. I hope you personally do, and if you listeners want to check it out, it's WDWNT.
My only fear is that it's going to get added to the list of podcasts I listen to on a regular basis, and then we can make nerdy Walt Disney references together.
Like, you mean on this show or just in general?
Well, both. Why not? Okay.
No, this is cool, man. Well, you know what? Let's do this live. Let's bring this here. I got something to tell you. This is unplanned.
Okay.
This is unplanned. This is an unplanned announcement. Is that I do want to start another podcast.
Yeah.
And I do want to do a Disney-based podcast.
Of course you do.
That's not the shocker either. But I have an angle. Because people that aren't into this scene don't know, but if you put Disney into iTunes under podcasts, there's probably going to get like 200 like results. It's like huge. Like,
wow.
There's so many Disney podcasts. So I'm not like, so I know I'm not, unique in that.
So you're going to call it a Disney podcast. So you're at the top of that list.
Yeah.
01, a Disney podcast.
That was an idea, but whatever. I don't give a fuck about the list. But I have my own angle because I'm like, I'm like, what is it that I loved about not just the parks, but just Disney my entire life?
Mm-hmm.
It's been something that's been shoved down my throat since the earliest age. My parents schooled me on so much shit, and the more I think back about it, I'm like, oh my god, this is completely my parents' fault. Like, I didn't have a teddy bear. I had a stuffed Mickey Mouse. Like, Like, and I still have him. He's still hanging out. Anyways, who cares? But here's the thing. I want to do a show about all the creepiness of the Disney movies and the Disney theme parks.
Okay.
There's no show that focuses on that, and I feel like there's a huge audience waiting.
Yeah, to talk about like Bambi's mother's death and how it affected them, and like.
I mean, that's a little depressing.
I just mean, all right, okay, I get it though. Like the darkness side of Disney movies,
right? And not that
creepiness,
everything creepy. I mean, there's like there's something that, especially in the animated films, like all of them have it. Especially like there's just something, and the villains are so, there's something so appealing about them. Yeah, I've always loved the villains, and that's what I want. That's what I want to focus on. And then,
are we talking like? How far into Disney movies does this extend? Is just this animated ones, or are we going to go into like the Barefoot Executive and the Love Bug and the Shaggy DA?
Well, here's my idea. Here's my thought I'm thinking for that. Like a lot, like creepy is a relative thing. Like like what's creepy to one person is not to the other, obviously. Yes. But what I want to do is I want to go through the films, and talk about it's like what's the creepiest part. What'd you think of that? Like, watch it again as an adult. That's another thought I have. Like, I love this as a kid. When I rewatch this as an adult, I didn't feel the same way, or I love it even more. Just like have those kind of conversations. We could do special segments about, obviously just discussing the topic of Alice in Wonderland and Disney is one thing. There's. And not even that, dude. Have you seen the fucking trailer for fucking Oz the Great and Powerful?
Yeah.
Like that, I remember that trailer blew me away.
Yeah,
like,
it looks really good. I was really excited for it.
That is fucking creepy ass shit. Like, there's stuff like that. Where it's like that's the kind of shit I want to talk about. I was like, I'm getting kind of pumped about it here.
Is there any preliminary titles for it?
The title that I came up with, since you don't want to have Disney in the title of the show because it's so you can actually own your own.
Yeah.
The title I came up with it was Creepy Kingdom.
Okay.
So
I like it. It's good.
Are you feeling that?
Yeah, feeling it.
So, would you like to be a part of this podcast?
I could be. I was like, I don't know if I'd want to. If I'd be like down to do all of it all the time.
No, I was like, I'm not asking. Yeah, I didn't think that. I'm not going to ask you to commit to being on every episode. I mean, my goal here, what I want to do is I want to kind of create a few episodes, and I actually would like to reach out to other like-minded people and kind of do it like over Skype.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get people that actually.
That'd be cool.
That's kind of my thing, but I'm like, I don't know these people, and it was kind of like. Well, maybe I should wait to start this. I don't know, but I'm actually. I've been more and more thinking. I'm like, I just need to put some episodes out there and get the ball rolling, so to speak. And for look, one of the things that we did, or I say we, but that I and Karen and my girlfriend did was like a few months ago we had watched The Black Cauldron, and I actually had never seen that film before, and I don't really know why. And it came out in my youth at a time when my mom was taking me to see every single Disney movie that came out, and I really feel like she purposely didn't take me to see that movie because it would look too dark.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
I remember. I know that I definitely saw it as a kid. That's the thing is it's been so long since I really watched a lot of those older Disney films. Like the other day, I saw the box for The Great Mouse Detective, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that one."
I never saw that one.
There's a ton of a ton of them the just smaller films. But I just did watch. It was Oliver and Company. Still fucking love that movie.
I liked it when it came out. I definitely haven't seen it in a long time.
Billy Joel soundtrack.
It was an enjoyable film. I do remember seeing it theatrically.
When I was a kid, I saw that in the movies with my parents, and I just for a while it was a staple of mine to do a Cheech Marin impression of the Chihuahua from that movie, saying, "If this is torture, chain me to the wall."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But I don't think I understood what that meant at all when I was a kid. It was just words.
Wow.
In a funny voice.
You know, I just realized that character was probably the inspiration for the Beverly Hills Chihuahua series.
Oh, definitely.
George Lopez has carried the torch.
But yeah, that's awesome. I think it's a good idea. Look forward to checking it out.
Cool.
Being a part of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like I wanted to get in that world. I listen to it all the time. I'm a podcaster, and obviously this show is not for family audiences. Mm-hmm. And whatever. I'm not going to try to change the show, obviously, but I have a few other ideas for other shows. But that was one. That was one that I've been. It's been on my mind for a while. I can. So that's it. That's I said it on the show. So that means it's gonna happen. No, I've been seriously thinking about doing this for a long time. It's not it's not one of my fly by night ideas. Mm-hmm. So that's that. What else do I want to say here? Have you seen? I love I'm grilling you all this stuff. Mark and I we've been on vacation from each other. I haven't.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Mark in a long time. So I'm asking you, but I'm really asking everyone. Mm-hmm. But I just want to know. This just dropped last Friday, bestowed upon the world. Have you seen the new music video by the Insane Clown Posse?
I have not. Okay. I know that they have a new album coming out.
They do have a new album coming out. Let me say this about this new music video. It was directed by the brother. I think they're brothers. I don't remember their names right now. But the people that directed the Skrillex video with the little girl doing the magic sorcery on the pedophile.
Nice.
And there was a quote or something I read where Violent J saw that video and thought it was amazing and contacted them to direct their first video. And this video is fucking beautiful. Yeah. Like that's what I think is beautiful. Like to me, it must be like, oh, the flowers and like, it's not that. That's not what I mean. Like to me, I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. Like I love it so much. Like most ICP videos are not treated with such like dedication and artistic merit. It's it's like it's such care and such theatrics. Like sometimes it attempts to do that and it kind of fails and it kind of just like most of their videos aren't too good. Some are better than other ones.
Some are really terrible.
Obviously most people that aren't familiar with them will go to Miracles and you'll be like, okay, screensaver video, whatever. Yeah. Like fucking. It was just fucking beautiful, man. Like I'm sitting there, like I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know what's going on. Like there's these people and they're walking in a desert and they're all dressed fucked up and there's this little boy with clown makeup and they're carrying something and it's like what it reminded me of? Have you ever seen the Marilyn Manson video for The Man That You Fear? Yeah, it is so much like that video.
Wow. That video is awesome too.
Yeah. But it looks so cool and like the song is. I'll be honest. The song was just okay. I was really looking forward. It's the first, taste of their new album, and I wasn't that into the song. Which may change. It may grow on me. I don't know. But the song is about a wrestler. It's not about. It's inspired, as I read, about a wrestler, Chris Benoit.
Oh, the guy that like killed all his family and shit.
Yeah. Because the song's called Chris Benoit. That's his name, right? Benoit? Is that
Benoit?
Benoit. Yeah. Okay. So the video cuts between this weird shit that's going on in the desert, and them, performing in a wrestling ring, And everything about the wrestling ring thing, like it's so just dirty and gritty and artistic, and like the ropes are like the actual ropes are like real rope, and it's fucking beautiful. Like I love this. Like I watched it like 3 times in a row, and I watched it. I was like, yes. And that's the thing I've seen that's happening is that so many people or different entities of like credible sources are now working with ICP and elevating. Like they've gone the past few years, they've gone past this thing of like everyone hates them and blah 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 to like there's people that after the smoke clears, some people are like, oh, this is pretty cool, or there's something to it, you know, like not just.
There's that weird song that they did with Jack White.
Yeah. lick my ass.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, stuff like that, where it's like, I mean, stuff, obviously, I eat that shit up because I'm like, it makes people eat asses up. I don't, guys. I'm good. I'm clean. You know, people they just, it makes them so angry. Like, it's just like, why the fuck this is garbage? I used to fucking love Jack White, and now it's all ruined.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, that was a great thing. I love listening to that song. Not like I like listening to it like it's music I want to listen to. That I just like that it exists. I'm like, anyways, I just wanted to, you know, I'll put it in the show notes, a link to it. I want to check it out.
I want to check it out. Yeah. I like that Skrillex video a lot. So, you know, I'm a big fan of artistic music videos.
Yeah, I like them too. That's the thing. I mean, like, I'm just sitting there like, most people probably think it's creepy or fucking weird. I don't know, but I was just like, that's kind of what I like. Like, this is what I aspire to, to do. Have you ever seen? I'm sitting here trying to describe this and I can't. So let's just move on from it. Okay.
So, all right. So I've got, all right. I guess I'm giving a little bit away to the audience, but you know, I work in a retail store.
All right.
At this retail store, we sell CDs and DVDs.
No, they still sell those.
Yeah, and so we buy and sell used CDs and DVDs.
Oh, okay.
So we get all sorts of normal people as well as a bit of the, you know,
the collectors, the eccentric collectors.
No, like we get, you know, for selling back stuff, you know, we get people that are just cleaning out their closet, cleaning out their, you know, whatever. They had a garage sale, whatever.
Right.
You know, oh, I heard you guys buy back CDs or DVDs. Figured I'd see what I could get for these.
Right.
And then there's the people that come in on a consistent basis who are like mostly... Now, there are people that come in on a consistent basis like once a week, once every 2 weeks, selling back a couple DVDs at a time, a bag full of DVDs at a time. You know, people who are thinning their collections, normal people. I don't have a problem with them.
All right.
Sometimes, though, there's like real scumbags. Like people where you're like, I am just providing drugs for you. Like we might as well just sell meth at our store.
All right, word. Might as well.
We sell Breaking Bad. We don't sell, you know. Right. But you know, so there's these people there. You know, there's lots of scumbags, whatever. But there's this one guy. He seems like a decent guy. Mm-hmm. He comes in every couple weeks. I see him. He's about my age. And we've had a couple conversations. What really started it was, like, aside from just random customer-employee interactions, was he was selling DVDs back. And there was one DVD in there that I took a look at, and I thought, this is interesting. I would actually buy this movie just to check it out. Because, you know, whenever we get weird stuff in, I'll buy random stuff that we get just to have weird stuff. I don't know.
Right.
I like weird shit. So it was this movie he had that was it was called Hitler's Last Days, and it had Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi as Hitler in it. I've never heard of this movie before.
Nah.
But so I scanned it in, and it wasn't in our system at all. So I was like, well, I can't take this because it's not in the system, But I wish that we could, because I would totally check that out. And he was like, oh, well, here, borrow it. I'll be back in at some point.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. So that was maybe like 2 weeks ago. And the other day, I was working yesterday, I guess it was, and he came in to sell some movies back,
Right.
And typically he'll be like, oh, I'm just hoping to get like $20 for gas so that I can last until payday or whatever, which is,
Yeah, we've been there.
I've been there, yeah. I mean, I used to sell back DVDs myself for some cash. I think we all have, right?
Yep.
Everybody on this entire planet.
Yep.
So...
this room.
So whatever. So
Sure.
yeah, I know we both been there, man. So it's like right on, And now I'm all right. Now I got to say, the point of the story is not saying like this guy's a scumbag.
Okay.
He's a normal dude. I've just been focusing on that because just to illustrate, there are real scumbags.
Okay.
There's some good stories I've got, but it doesn't matter. The point of this story is, so this guy who he let me borrow this movie. And he comes in, and I've seen him come in. And he's one of these guys. He wears like those I don't want to say like bowling shirts, but they're kind of like this I don't know, some kind of shirt. It's like a button-up shirt, and he'll wear a fedora type hat.
Okay.
But not. Yeah, I don't know.
He looks like
he wears some kind of hat.
He looks like he's a post swingers kind of guy.
Yeah, like a post swingers type guy. Yeah. So whatever. He's nice enough. My age, so we've talked, chatted here and there. And yesterday he asked me if we had the Frank Sinatra movie High Society, and I found it for him. I went and got it, and he was figuring out if he should buy it or not, because obviously he was there to get money, not spend money.
Right.
Whatever. But he goes to leave, and I was like, oh, I didn't bring the movie back. Sorry. I'll next time I'll have it in my car. I left it at home. He's like, oh, no worries. He's like, but hey, if you I don't know if you want to, I live in the area, if you want to hang out or something, here. He's like, do you have a pen? And I was like, sure. Well, actually, first he asked for a pen. He asked me for a pen. He goes, do you have a pen? And I said, sure. And he gave him a pen. He's like, you have something to write on? And I was like, yeah, here. And I gave him this little pad of paper. And then he started writing, and he was like, I live in the area, just if you want to hang out or something. And I was like, okay. And he wrote Facebook, and then he wrote down his name, and then he wrote down his email address.
Okay.
And then he said that something about how he wasn't going to get the DVD, and he's like, my girl might be mad or something like that. So I think he threw this thing about a girlfriend in there just so that it wasn't as weird.
Okay, right.
To be like, I'm not asking you to hang out in a let me put my dick in your butt kind of way.
Right.
But I felt really weird about it, and I not in a any sort of, but just I feel like, is this how you make friends nowadays?
Right.
And then here's the other part of it, is that later on I went to his Facebook, and I looked at the pictures, and he's like I like nerdy things, and I go to Steampunk World Fair, and to play dress up in
He's
costumes and stuff. Yeah, cosplay type shit. Which I'm not about at all. And I'm just like, do I fucking try to add this guy on Facebook?
Wait, so you're not about it you don't want to do it. Right? I know you don't want to do it, but it's a turn off that you don't want to be friends with someone that cosplays?
Kind of. Not a new friend.
Right, yeah. Because you have friends that cosplay, Mark.
Exactly. I do. We have some friends in common. Actually, you two have at least one friend in common. Miss apparently is his friend. I don't know to what extent, but this dude on Facebook is friends with
okay.
But he's actually friends with three of my friends, all of whom are that kind of person.
Right.
They're all, we go to conventions and dress up. Actually, you met the one girl he's friends with, Sarah, the girl that dressed up like Pikachu at our relay at Ghost Country show.
Yes. She made an appearance in the last episode of the show as there was a live Ghost Country performance from there. Yeah. So shout outs to her.
Shout outs to her. So you know, I'm like, do I go to my friends that I know for like a reference?
Yeah,
do
you vouch for this guy? You vet
or
him?
like, do I just? I mean, now, granted, obviously, adding someone as a Facebook friend is not the biggest deal in the world, but like, I mean, I barely fucking hang out with my own friends, my real friends, and like, am I gonna try to make some time to hang out with some dude that like is into some shit that I don't give a fuck about?
Yeah, there's not much common ground there. Well, let me interject a little bit here. It's definitely awkward how this came to be because usually things like that happen a little more organically. Mm-hmm. Not like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? Here's my information. Not like you could have been like, yo, we should get together and watch one of these crazy movies or something. You know,
yeah.
At least like something. Oh, a bunch of my friends, we get together every Friday night. We watch fucking B movies. You should stop by with you and some of your friends. Or just something like not so weird, like to be like, how could you not feel awkward? Yeah. Do you want to hang out sometime? And then he hands you his number, but mm-hmm. his internet information, and you're like, how about, yo, do you want to? That's what I would think. If I was like, oh, this guy at this store is cool, I like talking to him. It's so foreign to me to even think like that. Like I would, if it was me, I'd be like, I'd have to be engaged like a really awesome conversation with someone to be like,
yeah,
like, oh man, like, I wouldn't even think we should hang out. Like, it would just happen. Like, it's not. I wouldn't put the steps. The only times you do that is when you're trying to date someone.
Exactly. I mean, that's the weird thing about the whole situation is like, there's no way to not correlate it to like starting a relationship with someone.
Yeah. Like, it just happens organically, like.
So I don't know. It's. I mean, this only just happened yesterday. So I've
mm-hmm.
it's just something that was fresh in my mind, and it's like, but I don't know how to go forward with this. Like, I feel like if he's the kind of guy that's gonna just give me his number, or his information like that, like based upon almost nothing,
right?
Basically he knows that like we have a couple of similar interests in like just the type of movie, but like, he had a Hitler movie, but like he probably, I feel like this is a thing with a lot of people that I over the years that I've realized is like, there's a lot of people where, I don't know, I feel like I enjoy certain things for my own reasons, and it's almost never the same reasons that other people like things.
Oh, okay.
And like, so like the other day, actually, a different guy was selling back CDs, and he brought in like a fuck ton of CDs, a metric fuck ton.
Right.
But he brought in this huge box of CDs, and I was looking through it, and I was like, huh. Like it was interesting to me because he had a lot of CDs that I owned.
Okay.
But then a lot of CDs that I would never own. Like, it's interesting to me where, like, where he owns, say, there was, like, a Stabbing Westward CD. And I was like, oh, I have that Stabbing Westward CD.
Okay.
And then he had, like, I don't know. Basically, it was, like, there was a lot of rocks, like, hard rock type stuff. Or, like, 90s type things. He had, like, a Toadies CD. He had, like, some other bands. I can't think of anything in particular. But then, like, the taste then swayed to like more industrial metal stuff, more Fear Factory and In Flames and whatever it was. But it was just, it's always interesting to me because then I'm like, wow, like those are bands that I like. How do we like the same music but then don't like some other same music? Yeah, I don't know. Right. These are always things. This is totally off topic.
Right.
But anyway, this guy because then I was looking into his thing, and it's like, it said he studied film somewhere. Then it also said that he was single, and I really want to know why he said something about my girl. But
well, maybe it's not Facebook official yet.
Exactly, maybe it's not. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do I add him or do I not go to add him? Like, do I is that making a declarative statement, or is that just saying I don't really fucking give a fuck?
All right, let's put the things here. You have one end of he's probably gonna keep coming in the store, so you still kind of have to kind of deal with that, you know. And I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes. I might add him if I, but at the same time, just bringing in people I don't know into the world where my mom and I know your mom's not on Facebook, but just that kind of it's just a little too personal, I guess. But at the same time, you barely use Facebook at all. So if you added him, I don't, nothing would really happen, he wouldn't be sucked into, your personal life, because you're not sharing your personal life on your Facebook. So there's really it's kind of a low risk for you. I mean, it kind of for me too. I barely use my Facebook these days too, but so you could do it just the whole let's avoid awkwardness, and maybe it'd be cool. I don't know.
See, here's the thing though. There's definitely people that I have on my Facebook that were kind of in that same way and it's never been awkward but that's because they're people when we had the Deterioration of Joy thing, the premiere, the screening of it thing. And there was those guys that we hung out with afterwards that made that other movie, that horror film. They were from upstate New York or whatever. And there was this one guy who was the lead in the movie where at the time it was you should totally act in other things. We should keep in touch. And
right. Yeah, we thought we were part of a movement there, so everyone was our friend.
Exactly.
I'm friends with the three organizers of that film festival, and that was also when we barely used Facebook too. If you really think about it. But I made friends with that kid on Facebook, and never said anything to But he lives in upstate New York and whatever. But this is someone that I'm going to have to see it probably again, or can at least he can come see me. Yeah.
And I feel opening it up, it's like Cable Guy. It's going to be some weird situation where I open up some sort of dialogue, a friendship with someone who I can't avoid because he comes into my job.
Right.
It's going to be I don't know how to set me personally. I don't know how to set a boundary for anything, for anybody. So how am I supposed to say to someone at some point, dude, you got to stop coming into my job, because
you can't say that.
I can't tell him not to come into the store I work at, because it's obviously there, he's allowed to fucking come into the store I work at, but it's just I feel there's just too much of a potential for weirdness to happen. But then again, is that just me not really giving a shit and not really I honestly don't care. I don't feel I need more friends in my life or anything. I need a new person to fill some sort of I've got too much. I have zero time in my hands for myself even.
Right.
So the last thing I'm looking for right now is someone to hang out with and watch fucking Frank Sinatra movies with or something. So I don't know. It's. I don't think there's any answer to this. I don't think I'm going to add him, though.
Well, I mean, I understand where you're coming from because of the coming into work thing. When I worked retail, this wasn't an issue. Social media. If it had been, I'm sure I've been friends with a lot of fucked up people. Because I was definitely engaged. The degenerates that came into the store I worked at when I worked in Sam Goody in the mid '90s. I like to think I was their hero.
I'm sure you were.
One of the kids that used to come in, I used to think I was their hero. It actually ended up being in that band, the Gaslight Anthem.
Oh, really?
So I like to think that I, helped form the Gaslight Anthem. But if social media would have been present, those I was like, I don't know how I would have handled.
Do you like pay attention to Gaslight Anthem? Like read all these interviews and like hoping that someone's gonna be like, what pushed you into and then one of the guys would be like, there was a Sam Goody at the mall that I used to go to every week, and there was this dude there
every day.
He was like my Yoda. Steering me towards the music that would later shape the foundation of this band.
Right. Well, that's the thing. These kids came every day. They never bought anything.
Mm-hmm.
They would just kind of do their rounds around the mall, and it got to the point where they were literally coming in to say hi to me, and then they would leave. And my boss would be like, "Man, your fucking fan club's here again." I have vague memories of this, to be honest. Allison remembers it more, who I worked with, and she's the one that told me that kid's in the Gaslight Anthem. I would have never known because I don't listen to music like that, and that's completely out of my radar. I just know that band's from New Jersey. I'm like, oh, that was one of those kids.
Mm-hmm.
I guess statistically, someone from a band has got to come from somewhere.
Someone from a band has got to come from somewhere.
It's got to happen eventually.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes they're from another state. Sometimes they're from the town you live in. I know
guys from that band Midtown used to work at the mall.
Yeah, Midtown. Some of them used to work at Borders when I worked at Borders.
Yeah.
And but did they never crossed? They never got that big, did they?
They were like MTV2.
Oh, they got the MTV too?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Around the time when like Thursday was a band that people talked about, and like some of those kind of bands, like Midtown, I think got in there for a hot minute.
Okay, yeah, I remember hearing something, or I know somebody I worked with something. Yeah, so bands come from people, and bands come from places, and sometimes those bands are successful.
Yeah,
and sometimes they're not. And that's the moral of the story.
That's the moral of the story. Yeah.
Anyways, back to what you were saying about this guy.
I don't know.
I know. I mean, I guess if you decide you're not gonna, if listeners want to chime in and give Mark advice, at Jane's Podcast on Twitter, janespodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, let me know, because, I feel like kind of a dick because he's a nice guy and all.
Right.
Like, he seems like the kind of person that I'd be friendly with. That I could, he seems like my other friends that I have, that he's also friends with,
right?
That I could be friendly with on a casual basis of like, if I see him, I could talk to him for a little bit.
It's like, hey, what are you up to? That's cool. Oh, we saw this. It's cool. Not like, do you want to come hang out with me?
Oh, he did also do this. This might add a little. So he said. Oh, maybe not. Oh, never mind.
You're not going to put him on blast completely.
It's a little.
What if you actually become friends with this guy and he actually
he listens to this? Well, as being my friend that you are,
right.
I feel like I seldom make apologies for being who I am. And I feel like part of the friend contract that you sign in being my friend is accepting me. Right. Warts and all.
Yeah, all your warts. No,
all of my warts.
No, all your warts. You'd never apologize for that. I've asked you to a few times. No, I like that. I like your approach to doing the show. Like you said, you're like, well, no one's ever said anything to me yet, so I'm just gonna keeping it real. Like, you're not saying anything false. You're not making fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, it made me, you thought it was weird. It made me feel weird. And, maybe from an outside perspective, he might be able to, when he hears this, after you add him and send him the link to that, he'll be like, yeah, you're right. That was a little weird, but let's move past it and let's watch Hitler and Frank Sinatra movies together.
Yeah,
Make some time for me, Mark. That's what, carve out a few hours out of the week for me. Mystery guy, that's what he's got to do.
Exactly right. I ain't got no time for him.
Ass, cash, or grass, huh? You ain't got one of those. And Mark ain't got time for you, man.
Yep.
You guys can wonder which one of those three things I'll be offering Mark.
Yeah, man. I mean, you've read my bumper stickers.
Yeah. That's where I go to find out what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Like, where's Mark at now?
I change my bumper stickers on a weekly basis.
Oh, Ash grass this week, huh? Very nice. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, this has been really good for everyone involved. I'll speak on your behalf. So you had a really great time.
I did. I had a really awesome time, as always.
So, until next time. I'm James.
And I'm Mark.
What's the end catchphrase you're gonna say?
Keep one foot in the gutter.
Oh, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, we're not doing. Oh, sorry.
Dude, don't step on my toes.
Sorry.
This is just the end of the segment, Mark. We're not ending the show.
I'm sorry.
You need an ending phrase.
Keep on chatting the chat about a chop.
Chapow. I'm sorry, you wanted to end it. I did the chapow thing at the end, and that was fucked up. It was just like this, like, oh, I gotta be last. I mean, it was so stupid. Like, there was no reason for me to do that noise. It didn't add anything. It was just like, I'm gonna be last. So just be last. I'll let you be last.
All right. Okay. Well, signing off. I'm Mark.
I'm James.
And we will catch you on the chit side.
Hey, how you doing?
Is that even James has a podcast? Not on my watch, it ain't. Good.
Put 'em I fight you with one paw tied behind my back. I fight you standing on one foot. I fight you with my eyes closed.
Because retarded. You listen to Even James on podcast. I guarantee you're gonna be as smart as I is.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Boy, did we have fun. We had a blast. And when I meant by we, not only Mark and I, you did too. I'm telling you had a blast because I already know, because it was just so much fun for all of us. So the time has come for the show to come to a close, but I won't leave you hanging. I'll let you know how to stay connected to us when you're not listening. You can follow me on Twitter at James H. Carter 2, or follow the show if you don't want to know about my Foursquare check-ins at James Podcast. If you interact on James Podcast, it's a pretty high chance, as you heard in this show, that I'm gonna get back to you. I say it's extremely high because I'm on Twitter all the time. But if you don't like Twitter or whatever, you can email us at jamespodcast@gmail.com for any questions or anything at all on earth. And visit our website, the evenjamespodcast.com, for some special videos that pop up here and there, and for our show notes. And in the past, the show notes have been kind of lax, and that's something we're going to be vamping up. Like, pretty much almost everything you hear us talk about, we're going to really just pack it into those show notes. So just a one-stop resource of like, oh, what was that? What were they talking about there? So if you're listening on the go, just remember, let me stop by the Even James podcast.com, and so I can get a link to, find out what time Russell Brand's show comes on. So check that out. And, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo as well. And where you can subscribe and review us on iTunes. You can review us. Whatever you think. If you love it, if you hate it, 5 stars, 1 star, it's right there. YouTube it up. And also, as I stated earlier, we're on Stitcher. If you're not on Stitcher, you don't have Stitcher yet, go to stitcher.com/JamesPodcast, enter the promo code JamesPodcast, and you could win $100. You could. I don't know. No promises here. But anyways, so we're going to get out of here. Before I do, I'll let you know the next episode that's coming up is is going to be, it's almost a spoiler-free movie review show. There's definitely some spoilers we discuss in certain films, so I can't officially legally say it's a spoiler-free, but we haven't done one of these in a few months, so we're going to chat about some films, you know, that we've seen that we think you guys should check out or not check out. We'll be talking about Dark Knight Rises. Finally, weeks after its release, you'll know what we think about it. I know you're dying to know. We also talk about Project X, 21 Jump Street, Vendel Stiffs, Wanderlust, Safety Not Guaranteed, and that Comic-Con documentary that I'm blanking out on the name of. So, yeah, that's coming up next week. But, so I gotta get out of here, dude. So until next week, keep one foot in the grave, the other in the gutter. Terra DeLu.